Guys, so this story in CBS News is just holy fucking shit. This is wild. This should be a bigger story than what it is. Alaska snow crab season canceled as officials investigate disappearance of an estimated 1 billion crabs. What? So, let me ask you up front. What do you think is to blame? Tough one. The primary culprit is, of course, climate change. And we see stories like this. They're just like jaw-dropping on a regular basis now. It's doesn't generate the splash it should, because we all have a thick skin now, and we're super numb to like devastatingly terrible stories. You know what I mean? It's like with mass shootings, where when you get to like your fucking 7th mass shooting of the year, there's, you know, if you don't have like double digits for kids dying, it's like, oh, well, it was only 4, and it was at a Hardee's in Mississippi. So does that even really count as a mass shooting now? Like, we've become numb to a lot of this shit. So they say the following: in a major blow to America's seafood industry, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game has, for the first time in state history, canceled the winter snow crab season in the Bering Sea due to their falling numbers. While restaurant menus will suffer, scientists worry about the sudden population plunge, what that means for the health of the Arctic ecosystem. An estimated 1 billion crabs have mysteriously disappeared in 2 years, state officials said. It marks a 90% drop in their population. Holy shit. Quote, "Did they run up north to get that colder water?" asked Gabriel Prout, whose Kodiak Island fishing business relies heavily on snow crab population. Did they completely cross the border? Did they walk off the continental shelf on the edge there, over the Bering Sea? Ben Daly, a researcher with ADF&G, is investigating where the crabs have gone. He monitors the health of the state's fisheries, which produce 60% of the nation's seafood. Quote, "Disease is one possibility," Daly told CBS News. He also points to climate change. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Alaska is the fastest warming state in the country and is losing billions of tons of ice each year, critical for crabs that need cold water to survive. Quote, "Environmental conditions are changing rapidly," Daly said. "We've seen warm conditions in the Bering Sea the last couple of years, and we're seeing a response in a cold-adapted species, so it's pretty obvious this is connected. It is a canary in a coal mine for other species that need cold water." Prout said that there needs to be a relief program for fishermen, similar to programs for farmers who experience crop failure or communities affected by hurricanes or flooding. When asked what fishermen can do in this situation with their livelihoods dependent on the ocean, Prout responded, "Hope and pray. I guess that's the best way to say it." So look at where we are, man. This is astonishing. This is astonishing. And this is what happens with climate change, is you get these things that happen, and you're like, holy shit, man, somebody should have done something about this. It's like, yeah, they should have done something about it. But they didn't, and now there's unintended consequences, and here we are. 1 billion crabs are missing, 90% population plunge, like that? What are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about here? Jesus Christ. Add it to the list, right? Add it to the list of devastating consequences as a result of climate change. You know, what do they say? I think the Colorado River is at 25% capacity right now. Well, what happens when water for the western portion of the United States dries up? What do you do in a situation like that? What do you do? This is what people don't understand, especially when you talk about developing countries. There will be wars over water. Wars over water. This is crazy stuff. There's gonna come a time within the next 50 to 100 years where the Middle East becomes uninhabitable for human beings. They're gonna have to, people are gonna have to leave. And you want to talk about a refugee crisis. You think you've seen something now with, for example, what happened in Syria. Oh, we're just getting warmed up, dog. We are just getting warmed up. How many trillions of dollars worth of economic damage is there going to be as a result of this? I mean, there's moral reasons to do the right thing and environmental reasons to do the right thing. There's also a financial reason to do the right thing. And the fact of the matter is, there's an economic boom waiting to happen in green and renewable technology. It's just waiting to happen. So do we want to get the patents that are going to lead us into the future, or you want to sit back and let, other countries do that? I mean, you want to talk about dragging our feet. We are seriously dragging our feet. And this is the result. And how many other, species are going to go through a similar thing? They can't survive with this new reality. Look at the extensive wildfires that are worse than anybody thought they could be. Look at the increase in extreme weather events. Again, worse than people thought it could be. You keep getting, storms that are like, well, this is a once in a 1,000-year storm. And then it hits, they hit 3 years apart or some shit. It's like, I think something's going on here. So here we are, man. This is what's going on. Again, I can't believe this is not a bigger story. Basically, an entire industry just devastated overnight. When they realize, could be the climate change or disease. And the disease, by the way, could also be linked to climate change. That's the other thing. Turns out that totally ruined an industry overnight and totally changes our economic landscape in this region. Gotta wake up. Gotta snap out of it. This is crazy stuff. I mean, California got a lot of shit for saying, no more gas cars by 2030. The entire country should follow suit on that. No doubt about it. And I love cars just as much as the next guy, right? I do. But you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes change is inescapable from the top down. You can't do it bottom up when it comes to something like climate change. This requires systemic reform. And that was a good move, and it should be copied in the rest of the country, and we should do it at the federal level. And we're really just getting started talking about the solutions when we bring up something like that. We really are. What's that crazy fact? Like 100 companies are responsible for 75% of global emissions, something like that. Time to rein them in. Time to regulate them. Time to get serious. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.